Man, we back at it again with another episode of Locked In. Welcome to episode 22. Got another guest for y'all today. We got Deja Brown. I'm going to just go ahead and let her introduce herself to y'all real quick and basically tell y'all what she does.
All right. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Deja. I'm from the DMV. I'm from Maryland. I grew up in Maryland, but I kind of grew up in Louisiana because I used to spend summers with my grandparents. So I'm like a East Coast down South mix, baby.
For sure.
And I've been singing. I think I've been singing like before I came out the womb. My mom used to play like music when she was pregnant, and she used to say like the people at the daycare wouldn't, like, they would always say like I would sing all day long. So I feel like I've been singing since I was born, but I've been in like choirs and all types of stuff. So yeah.
Nah, for sure. So, how old were you? Do you remember how old you were when you first started singing?
Uh,
Remember the exact age?
Maybe like 4 or 5.
Okay.
I started singing at church. So as soon as I could get a note out, my mom had me singing.
Right. So, just talk about, your whole experience singing. Is that something that you like look forward to doing in the future? How serious are you with the singing career?
So I am a singer. I'm not just a singer. I'm very artistically inclined. So I dance, I act, I sing, I draw, I write. Um, and I've always done that my whole life. Like anything, I've always done anything artistically driven. My mom's always had me in like extracurriculars. And I used to sing, dance, and act around the clock. Like I had dance class like almost every day. I had acting. I would be in like plays or like working for commercials or really like anything like that. I've always done something. I think when I was about 12, I went to my grandparents' house for the summer, and I was training with Tailor Made Music Group in Louisiana, and they were teaching me how to play the piano, but he was also helping me with singing, and that's when I decided I wanted to sing, and that's what I wanted to do. So from there on out, I kept dancing, and I kept, like, I've always danced, but I've kind of like fell off with it. I will say, like, with singing, I haven't been, like, I went to college and I wasn't singing, but I never stopped writing. Like, I never stopped writing. I write all the time. I have like maybe hundreds of songs in my vault. Like, I write all the
Wow,
time.
100. That's a lot of
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah, I'll write anytime. Like, I'll write if I'm in traffic. I'll like pull over and write. I'll like anything that inspires me. Like, I'll start writing. Like, and that could be anything. It could happen at any moment. Like, even at work, I'll start writing something.
Yeah, you
So
just have a true passion for it.
yeah, yeah. So music is my thing, but singing is like that's like my personal therapy.
So speaking on, inspiring you to sing, things like that, has there been a particular person who inspired you, start taking singing seriously? Or is that just something you knew you were meant to do?
I feel like for me, it was something I knew I was meant to do. It's just like it's part of who I am. I will say I do have a lot of influences. Um, my favorite all time, like, be all is probably Beyonce. I always say Beyonce, and people are like, "Oh, Beyonce," but like
Mhm.
I like her as a singer, but I like that she's a performer. She can sing, she can dance, she can act. And the way that she carries herself, like, I admire that so much. So that's my role model for real.
That's a good role model to have, though.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I don't just like her because she's Beyonce. I feel like a lot of people just like her because she's Beyonce, but like I
Yeah,
like her all around. Like, I feel like through and through, like, if I wanted to be somebody, it would be her.
for sure. So I actually got a chance to look at your song 3 a.m. I just want to
Mhm.
say first off, it's a vibe, definitely a vibe.
Thank you.
I definitely did my research before the interview. But just talk about that whole experience in that song 3 a.m. Like, how was that? Having a music video. the process and the going to that? How was that?
Hmm. So when I went to college, that was the first time I ever got in the studio, was when I left for college. It was this guy, John, my friend Leon had met, and he was like, let's just all pull up to the studio. And we will go like every day. Like we thought we was going to make it big like that year. And
Right.
we just was in the studio. We would kick it. We would cool it. Like, even if I wasn't working, that's one thing. I don't have to be working to be in the studio. I love the vibe. I love the energy that it brings. And when we were all in the studio, I wasn't working. I just got out of class. And there was this guy in there. He had this beat. He played the beat for 3 a.m. And he was like, he wasn't going to use it. So I was
Oh,
like,
for
send
real?
it to me. So when he sent it to me, it was just on my mind. Like I liked the rhythm, I liked the beat, but I didn't have no lyrics. And then over Christmas break, because this was like towards like November, December, this time of year, and I I had took it home and I was sitting in the office and I just started writing. I just started writing stuff, and I called my friend Leon, the feature in the video. And I was like, I got this dope song. Like, I hear you on it, but I don't know. Like, we need to sit down and come up with something. So I read in my lyrics. I wrote the hook. And then he wrote his verse. And from there, it was kind of just like, we just put it together and made it. Like, it was nothing. What it turned out to be was nothing I expected it to be. I had never done a video. I had never made a song. I had never released a song. So when I made the song and we had laid it down, I was like, I want to do a video. And so I just started, I was in college, so I started contacting people like dancers, singers, videographers. It was just like, I don't got a lot of money, but like, what can we do? And from
Right.
there, I just made my video. Honestly, I just made it happen. A lot of people think that like it was a strenuous process. I will say it was a little difficult. It had its bumps in the road, but I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like, it's definitely, I'm so proud of myself for it.
Most definitely. So speaking on like continue from 3 a.m., are there any more upcoming projects that you want to tell people about? You got stuff in the vault. What's next?
So when I finished 3 a.m., actually, I was in the middle of writing an album. And 3 a.m. was supposed to be on that album. I went through like a series of situations that year and kind of put it to the side. But now I got a few singles I can release. That's one thing. I do have anxiety releasing music. I don't know what it is. I just be like, I don't know. But very soon there will be some new stuff coming out, some new music, some new videos. So I would just say keep your eyes open. I got
Y'all
something
heard
real.
it. Y'all heard it
Yeah.
from her first. Keep y'all eyes open. All right, so say you had to collab with one artist, right?
Hmm.
You could just pick their brain, learn from them, even possibly do a song with them. Who would that one artist be and why?
Wow. So I'm like, I love all genres of music. Like, people don't know this about me, but like, I listen to country music. I listen to pop music. Like, I listen to really anything. I listen to gospel music. I listen to all those genres that people don't typically listen to. But if I had to pick a collab, ah, I want to say it would be Beyonce. It would be Beyonce because no. There's a tie. There's a tie. It would either be Beyonce or it would be Mulatto because I love Mulatto. But Beyonce, just because like I love her melodies, like I feel like our voices together would just create like an angelic harmony. Um, and I think we can make a banger. And Mulatto, she could spit. Like she really be spitting. I be listening to Mulatto like every day. I love everything that she posts. I love the whole Queen of the South image because I'm not from the South technically, but I feel like I am because I half of my life I grew up there.
Right.
Um, and yeah. I think if it was like I needed a rap verse, Mulatto. But if I was just trying to sing, then Beyonce.
All right, and then name your top three. Who are your top three artists that you listen to? I know that's probably a tough question, but who's your top
Top
three?
three. So, that I listen to. Okay, so Mulatto's up there. Let's see, Janae Aiko. That's my soul person. um, and Summer Walker. Summer Walker, like I love her music. Her Over It album was just like everything I needed. Her and Kalani might be tied because Kalani's last album was like fire. I needed that. That was like what I needed this year. So I've listened to it the entire year, and she dropped it at the beginning of the year. So yeah, those are probably like my top three favorite. Now the list definitely goes on, but
Yeah, I believe it.
yeah.
So I know you mentioned before previously, you're artistically inclined and many different things. So we're not gonna sit here and act like you're not a model and stuff like that. We're gonna touch on that as well. Just talk about, modeling. When did you first start modeling and your whole experience modeling so far?
So my very first time I ever modeled, I think I was 6. I modeled for Kohl's. I don't know if Kohl's is still open anymore. But I
I don't
modeled in
think so.
fall. Yeah, I don't think so
Yeah, I
either.
don't think they still open.
It was like a runway show, and my mom had signed me up, and I loved it. I loved runway. I got older and I didn't get any taller. So runway kind of like fell to the side, but I've always done commercial as well. I love doing photo shoots. I love coming up with concepts. I feel like a lot of people do photo shoots for fun. I do them for fun too, but I always like to create some type of message with my photo shoots. I like to come up with something that's going to deliver something magical. Like I want my photo shoots to be like never seen before. And modeling is, I mean, it's about the picture, it's about the shoot, it's hard work. People think that it's just like smile and pose, and it's not at all.
Right.
So it's definitely something I love to do. It's one of like my avenues as far as being an artist. It's something that I use to my advantage. And yeah, now I actually have a shoot next Friday. I need to come up with my second concept. So yeah.
All right. Speaking of all the shoots that you have done, what would you say was your most compassionate shoot you ever did, and what was the message behind it?
Um, the best shoot I ever did, actually, I went to, this actually wasn't like a set photo shoot. It was more like a meet and greet kind of thing. It was a whole bunch of photographers and a whole bunch of models. And you kind of just like meet up in an area and you walk the area and just take pictures. But that particular shoot, my mother came with me and my grandmother came with me. And the whole shoot was just like, it was perfect. Like it was freezing outside. It was really, really cold. But even through that, I mean, I had on heels and everything. And I was just like, my mom was like shivering. And I was like, let's do more. Like I could be here all day. That was probably my best shoot. And I think the vision behind it for me, it was just kind of like I had just moved to Atlanta. And I had just came home. And for me, it was like a self-expression thing. Like I was getting back on my feet. I was getting back to feeling myself. I went through a year, like my last year away at college. I went through a little time period that wasn't the best. And that shoot kind of like brought me back to life. So that was probably my favorite shoot. It was kind of like more like a fall shoot type look. But
Yeah.
the pictures were amazing, and you could see my confidence in the pictures. So
Okay. And just talk about, the upcoming shoot you said Friday, next Friday, I believe you said.
Mhm.
Just talk about a little bit about that and where you'll be shooting and the message behind that as well.
I will be shooting here in the DMV. I actually am still in the process of creating an idea. I've created my first look, which is just going to be a beauty shoot, just like just the face kind of thing. But
Yeah.
my second look, I'm not sure yet, but that's another thing you gotta stay tuned for. So whenever it comes out, it'll be fire, and the concept will be fire as well.
Most definitely. All right, so just this is the point in the interview where you talk your stuff, you know, just brag a little bit. What makes your music different? And then the next question I want you to answer is, why should people book you for modeling? Like, what makes you as a model different?
Okay. So my music is original in its own way, just because I feel like my lyrics are relatable. I feel like what I write about, I don't write about just anything. I don't collab with just anybody. Everything that I write, anything that I will ever release will be from the heart. It'll be 100% from the heart. And I feel like whenever you real about your music and you real with your music, it relates to people and it's relatable. Um, and I feel like that's what sets me aside from every other artist, is that I create music. I feel like I create music to heal. It's therapy for me, and I feel like I want it to be therapy for someone else. I want somebody else to listen to my music and feel something or get through something that they can't seem to get through without it. So like how I said, like that album that Kalani just released, like I needed that this year. Like, had she dropped it last year, it might have been different than this year. But like I feel like my music is like its own personal like healing touch. And modeling, I would say I should be booked because I'm the best. No, I'm playing. But I mean, I have a lot of experience with modeling. I'm very easy to work with, and I'm a very good creative. Like when it comes to collabing and coming up with ideas, like I love to work with people and collaborate and come up with something that's going to be like never seen before. And I feel like that can help me and that can help the photographer. So I feel like that's why I should be booked.
Nah, talk your stuff. Talk your stuff. All right, so
Yeah.
I know, Corona has ruined like so many things for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It has impacted me in ways to where it's crazy. Has that impacted you in any type of way? Like, did some of your music potentially get pushed back? Some of the modeling gigs that did shut down. How was that for you? How was that whole situation?
I would say actually when Maryland first decided to lock down, I had a photo shoot like scheduled the day after lockdown. And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get to I didn't know what it was gonna be like. I thought it would be like cops everywhere, like circulating the roads. And I was like, I don't know how, but I gotta get to this photo shoot. And I went anyway. And that was like my first COVID shoot. But I will say it hasn't really impacted me in a way where I feel like creatives kind of have like this mind where it's just like you kind of create through anything.
Right.
And I think COVID has enhanced for creators, I feel like, our creativity a lot, just because being stuck and confined to one place can keep you from being distracted. And as a creative, you need to have a strong focus. I feel like when you get distracted or you let things distract you or you're here and there, your creativity can decline. So I do think that it has been a rough time being stuck in the house, not being able to go anywhere, do anything. But it hasn't impacted me negatively just because it's given me time to refocus, regenerate, regroup, and just come up with better music, better content.
No, for sure. People look at it as like, oh man, Corona, but it's actually been great for a lot of people because, things like that. Although you went away for a second.
Yeah. Wait one
Yeah.
second.
But yeah, I was just saying, like, people look at it as like a bad situation, but for some people, it's actually been a good thing.
Yeah.
Because they got a chance to, learn more about themselves, family, that type of stuff. Spend more time with family. So it's like a blessing in disguise, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was harder to see at the beginning, but just being at the end of the year, with the year closing out, I think that a lot of people are starting to realize like the benefit of all of this time and that we've had off. I will say, like, it has been a very tragic time. I've lost family members. I know a lot of people have lost a lot of their loved ones. It hasn't been like something to glorify, but I will say looking at the positive in the situation helps a lot.
Definitely. And then the last thing I'm gonna ask you for this interview is, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
5 years from now, it's so crazy. I was just telling my manager this the other day. 5 years from now, I'm gonna be on your TV screen. I'm gonna be on all y'all TV screens. I'm
Nah,
gonna be
for
on
sure.
somebody's phone. I'm gonna be in the Apple Music, look for my content. I'm gonna be somewhere on Vogue, and I'm definitely have my billboard picture up. So look for it.
With that being said, first off, I want to appreciate you again for coming on. You definitely have something good going for yourself. Y'all heard it from Deja Brown herself on Locked in the podcast. Man, this episode is definitely going to be a good one. But yeah, just keep going. Like, keep envisioning yourself doing great things, and those things will definitely happen. More blessings are going to continue to come for you. I know they are. And then I just appreciate you one more time. Thank you for coming
For
on.
sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no
This was
problem.
exciting.
And y'all heard it from her first, man. That's it for episode 22 of Locked In. Make sure y'all tune in for next week's episode. We out.